Hey guys, welcome to my channel for another video. So this video is going to be talking about why I need another C-section. This will be my third. This is my third pregnancy, so this will be my third C-section. So bear with me, this might be kind of a long video. I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. So, with my first baby, I was induced at 40 weeks and 3 days pregnant. I was in labor for about 17 hours. Labors usually do last that long or even longer, but if you're lucky, it'll be shorter than that. So basically what happened with, it's kind of like a little birth story with my son. This is my son's birth. I was at 5 centimeters for probably more than half of my labor time, and it was just not, my cervix just was not dilating at all. Like, it just stopped at 5, and my son's heartbeat started to show signs of fetal distress. And then after he was born, we discovered that his cord was wrapped around his neck, and that was kind of, played the major role of why my body wasn't really progressing as it should. And I've always heard things too about being induced can really affect how your body goes into labor naturally. The best way to go is all natural, but of course if you have some medical, explanation to why you need to be induced, of course it's totally fine. But I was like 40 weeks and 3 days pregnant, and I was doing a non-stress test, and I think he was showing signs of being distressed while, even before my labor even started. So my doctor was just like, hey, we need to go ahead and send you to the hospital. You're already, past your due date. Let's get the show on the road. And by the time we got there, they started me on Pitocin and all that good stuff. So, my labor just did not progress like it should. My body didn't respond really well to the Pitocin. So about 3 in the morning or so, my doctor was like, we need to do an emergency C-section. And so, that was the only reason why. It was because my body wasn't progressing. I was actually starting to run an infection in my cervix because I was starting to get a fever just because I was in labor for so long, and my son's head just was wedged into my cervix and was just causing a lot of problems. So that's why I had an emergency C-section with him. That's kind of what started, it really started it all. But with my daughter, it was obviously scheduled. I didn't even experience labor with her. She was born at 39 weeks exactly, or 39 weeks in 1 day or something silly like that. But what was really nice about having a scheduled C-section is that I knew my baby's birth date, and it was really cool. So if you do have a C-section in the past, you're more likely going to have another C-section in the future. Of course, there's always chances of, having a vaginal birth after cesarean, which is called a VBAC. But that is totally up to you and your doctor. I would really suggest listening to your doctor just for your health and your baby's health, But that's just my personal opinion. I just don't want to risk anything. And, for me, since I've already had 2 C-sections, and this will be my third, it's just kind of what's in best interest for me and the baby. So, usually they schedule about a week before your due date to schedule the C-section. Now, my thoughts about having a C-section, of course I don't like it. The recovery is 10 times longer than a vaginal birth, and but other than that, being able to birth a healthy baby and to be okay and all that, it's fine. But I always wished I could go through that birth and by pushing the baby out and having the baby put on my chest right away. And it kind of breaks my heart that I will never have that. But, you know, it's, you know, as long as you have, you know, you're able to carry a healthy baby and to deliver a healthy baby, and you could still hold your baby right after birth, even during a C-section, which I didn't have with my son. He was already wrapped up in a burrito and stuff. That was my son's birth was more of an emergency kind of situation, so I didn't really get to hold him like right away. Of course, I was really out of it. It was like 3 in the morning, 17 hours in, and I was so tired. But what was really nice about, you know, with my daughter's birth, I was, you know, fully awake. And of course, I was still exhausted. I couldn't sleep the night before. But I was still really exhausted. But I was so much more aware of what was happening around me and about what my body was doing. And I could feel my daughter actually coming out of my body, which was really a really neat experience. So I just want to kind of get that out there. That's kind of why I need to have a C-section. Of course, I'm not going to be happy about it, you know, but I'm just happy that I was able to get pregnant again, and I still can't believe it. I'm going to have another little baby to be able to, you know, snuggle with and hold in my arms and all that good stuff. So definitely, you know, a C-section is a very scary thing. It was for me. But if it was really that scary and that traumatic, it was still traumatic for me. Of course, you're on the surgery table, you're gonna be, you know, awake during the surgery. Of course, you can choose to be awake or asleep, which I prefer to be awake. You know, you want to hear your baby cry and stuff for the first time. But, gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. What I was saying was, basically, if I didn't think that, you know, having a C-section was worth it, I would say, I wouldn't be going through it multiple times, because the end result is always the same. Even if you give birth vaginally or through a C-section, it's, you know, it's still, you get a beautiful baby out of it. And the only reason why, you know, you have a C-section is just because it's a safer route for you and your baby, and that, you know, you have really good doctors there for you that, you know, they know what they're doing, and you're under good hands, and everything's gonna be good. So me saying this stuff out loud is actually helping me, because I am absolutely terrified of going through it again. The recovery period is just so rough. I will not lie about that. It's definitely really hard, but what really helps is seeing that baby. And, you know, so like I couldn't imagine going through like a major surgery and then not having, you know, that kind of an outcome with that. It's just difficult. Every surgery you go through is going to be very difficult. But if you know you're having a C-section, I feel for you. I'm going through that right now. I'm going through that fear of, you know, of that fear and that experience. But like I said, ultimately, you will have that baby in your arms happy and healthy. So that is why I need a C-section again, because it'll be a repeat. I just thought I'd answer any questions that you may have about that. I just kind of wanted to, you know, let everybody know that, you know, you are not alone if you're going to have a C-section. Even if you're having a vaginal birth, it can still be pretty scary, because, you know, you don't know what you're getting into. So I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thank you for listening, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.